Good morning. Right, I'm going to talk to you, particularly those of you really interested in this, is to do with fertility, and the focus usually is on the physical side. And what it's overlooked is the spiritual cause of infertility, and there's in a desperate need to have this child. The emotional and the spiritual side is very much overlooked, and because there's a focus on all the physical reasons why it doesn't happen, and it may be the deep emotional, even ancestral programs running back there. More and more these days, this is coming through to me, is our ancestral side. Just think of it, if some things have happened way back in the past that is really strong, particularly losses of some sort or some kind of violence, it is carried down as we pick up our parents' feelings. Well, they've picked up their parents, and backwards they go. And if they're particularly strong, we're left with some of the scarring from the ancestors. So, and this does apply very much to having children, I believe. And because it's ancestral, it's more difficult to identify. That's the problem. And it can be then coming forward more that your parents' history, okay, if there's tension, anxiety, emotional conflict, and traumatic shock, that can result in a life of anxieties, self-distrust and being self-inhibited, and that's come down the line from your parents. What we're not aware so much is that we feel our parents' feelings, okay, as they have felt theirs, not just what they say and do, but their feelings. So if there's a lot of sadness, you're going to pick it up, anger, distrust, all these different feelings are carried down. And so if it comes down like a tide, it's going to go forward into the next generation as well. When mothers might come to me and says, "Can you have a look at my child?" I'd rather look at you first, because this is what the child is expressing. They've picked up your feelings, and you see how it comes down the line. And this is why this is so important for having children in the future. We've got to examine ourselves and our parents, and sometimes ancestral, but we are the result of our ancestors in many ways, okay? When even planning, there could be sabotaged by a fear of having a child. I mean, for mothers, I mean, here I am, a man, okay, but with being a mother, there's a natural desire for children. There's a yearning and a feeling for children that men don't have, of course. And then as time goes on and the body clock goes on, there's more of a desperation. And the desperation, very often I found that people have tried for children and then kind of given up, and then a few months or a year later, they have a child. And the reason is, it's that fear and effort that is blocking it. And that shows how much the emotional side actually blocks the allowing you to have a child. See, there's a kind of it's also if you're looking ahead again, you might be picturing that your time and energy might be taken up, and there might be you see, with imagination too, you can bring in imagination. Oh, will we have time? Will we get overwhelmed with it? Now, all these go into the program. this can block the child. You see, it's an unfair world is where lots of children have them when they don't want them, and there's lots of people who want children and they can't have them, and this is so unfair. But we've got to put this one aside. It's you that counts. It's your particular situation that counts, and that is the thing. But the fear will block it also. The fear from a mother of even the birth, that can happen. That can block it. That fear of birth, the fear of having whether you can look after children, and this is important, of course, because it's a big deal, you know. Because I've been through all these myself, I understand. You know, it's not a great journey, but there's a lot of joy in it as well. Actually, this guy did a survey about joy in children, and he found that it's about 50-50. Those without children have more freedom, but they miss that joy of children. Those with children have a lot of challenges, but they have the joy. So as regards joy all around is about 50-50. But there is that strong drive to have children. But what you've got to be clear is even how you relate to your parents is the things that are unresolved with your own parents. Because especially the mother, okay, because this is to do with the mother very much. And if you've got a lot of unresolved anger, grief, resentment, then this is not appropriate, because this is going to be continued, okay, until you address it. And this is very often forgotten. Okay. And also another way is to picture yourself as the parent of yourself. Okay. It's a bit weird. And see how would it be. Okay. So you've got to look at different angles here, and where you sit easy with it, where it comes easy, and that's the path you want to follow. Because with our imagination and our past history, these are the things that can block and create infertility in many ways, right? There can be physical problems, and also there can be guilt if one particular parent doesn't have the capacity to produce a child, okay? They don't have the right hormones or whatever, then there's a bad feeling there. But you see, why did you come together? It was for you didn't meet each other, oh, we're going to have a child, okay? You loved each other and you came together, and that's what you mustn't forget. This is the first thing. Then I mean, a child can be adopted, I guess, but not always. So you've got to go back to that sometimes, because what happens is when you can't there's a problem having a child, the feeling escalates and desperation comes in, okay? And we have IVF and things like that. But you can see if these feelings are blocking it, that's why very often one of the reasons why IVF doesn't always work, okay? Because you've got to be in the right place to have a child. So it's another life, and it's also creativity, okay? The womb represents creativity. So if you find the problem, you're not getting anywhere, then do focus on your creativity. Put your creativity somewhere else. Create something else in your life, and that will take over, okay? Because we're here for joy, believe it or not, okay? Not just to survive or have this and have that. And we've got to very often look down on ourselves at the whole situation. Let's see. Yeah, and also, I suppose, if you have already lost a child, then it does make it more difficult as well, because that fear comes in. And if you've got doubt, you don't want any doubt. Wonder if how it'll be with the child. But when you doubt, you want to look at that, address that, okay? Because these are the things that block it, okay? And to look at the relationships with your parents, definitely. Okay, so these are things, just these aspects are very important. And you'll realize that, you'll realize these feelings, how important they are when planning a child. So just to let you know that with these, I can work by distance, by video, unless you're in the New Forest area, which I can see you directly. But I can work wherever you are in the world. I can work by video as if I'm in the room here now talking to you, and things can change, because the more of these blockages that hold us back, the worse it is. And there are opportunities for change. That is the thing. We wouldn't be here unless there's some kind of opportunities and hope. You see, you can go to a doctor, and sometimes they don't give you hope, perhaps. But I'm here to give you hope, and I do believe in that there's hope everywhere, and a hope and an opportunity to change. But these feelings, you can see how these feelings can block it all. And when we get clear of these and release these doubts and fears, and to actually picture, that's another thing to finish this off. You want to, if you're planning children, picture a nice healthy child playing in the meadow and having fun. That is what you want to do. This is creation. When fear with imagination starts blocking all kinds of things, okay? And that can make such a difference, just that alone, okay? Okay, so any questions, you can come back to me, and I'll follow that up if I can help in any way. Good, happy planning, whatever. Okay, I hope things go well, and nice talking to you. Okay, thank you. Bye now. Bye.